Hello, Forgeborn. This is Zan, aka Bearsman6, and I'm here today trying my hand at this whole video content thing for the first time because our friends at Stoneblade Entertainment released a new behind-the-scenes video showing off a bit of the progress that's been made on the new beta client or SolForge client, whatever you want to call it. Now, this video may only be a minute and 3 seconds long, but you'll find out that it's got a lot of good information, and we're going to focus on that. You'll also notice that I have already muted the sound for you, and that is because it's the same music we've been muting for probably years at this point on the regular SolForge client. Not only that, it's loud. So you're welcome in advance. But for now, let's focus on this video. And we should point out something that they put in the YouTube comment. This is a mock-up. It is not final. They're adding a level of polish and all of that. So there's your disclaimer. But let's take a look at the video itself, shall we? Now notice, this already goes away very quickly. They've only spent a few seconds on this screen. But I'm going to pause it here so that we can take a moment and appreciate what they're showing us here. If you aren't familiar, this is basically the redone version of the client that we're familiar with. If you see all the buttons here on the left-hand side and the stuff that adds up to the right-hand side over here, this is the new version of that. You've got your play button front and center, well, not center, but at the top of the screen and centered. You've got your campaign and tournaments. You've got your collection buttons. These are all the buttons that are on the typical screen now, but they take up a lot less room. They have little icons to go along with them. Play is obviously much more noticeable. And you'll notice that the store and the buy gold over here offer, again, an easier way to navigate. There's also this home button, which makes me think that this top navigation ring, or this bar, is going to be accessible from many of the places. Now, again, if we compare it to this format, these buttons take up a lot of real estate, and as soon as you click on something, all you have left is this right-hand side column that needs a lot more space as well to function. This option, on the other hand, takes up much less space, and you can do more down with the bottom, let's say, 3/4 of the screen than you could with basically just the same amount of space without having the whole left-hand side. If we look also up here at the other things that are displayed, they've streamlined the whole bottom of the screen. Now your account name would be here, to the left under the home. You could log in and switch users right beside that. That makes sense. And instead of having your account name down here as it was in the lower left and your login, log out buttons up here in the upper right, that was not logical. But at the same time, you still have your displays for now. Tickets are added to silver and gold. And I love that they have added a visual for tickets. That is basic currency here. I wonder if they'll also have one for elite tickets off to the side of that even. But it's something that we don't know. Are elite tickets going to still exist? How is that going to happen? I would assume they would, and that would make me think that they'll probably have elite tickets over here. But maybe not. Maybe tickets are the typical currency outside of these other two currencies. But then we look over here. These are, we've already selected, I assume, the play button, and you can see that your options are right here. You have, they don't really show us what the different options are. But at this point, it looks like we're almost to the very end of our selecting. We're playing against a computer, easy, for some strange reason. And we're choosing our opponent's deck. And look, the decks pop up here. Now, what I don't necessarily like is that these buttons are rather large. They're similar size. So if we go here from play, create game, we're recreating what's already been done. We're creating the game. We're choosing our own decks. We'll just choose this one for now. We're choosing computer. They say easy. And so all of what you're seeing here, all of these deck options, we have basically the same thing here, but notice it doesn't have the graphic, and that's what I'm missing. It shows you the main faction, or perhaps the dominant faction, sort of like how the other one color codes the list based on which faction has the majority of cards. It shows you the sizes, but it does not have quite as much flair because it doesn't show the art. And I will say, the art in SolForge is phenomenal. I mean, look at this. Every single place that you look that has card art is great. And some of those decks that you might have just seen there are decks I have not unveiled yet. But they're coming. Notice down here another thing that we need to look at. It has messages. And there seems to be a plus icon, which indicates that there's something going on down here, that perhaps there's a way you can receive messages, which would be a brand new client edition. In the past, all they've had is the chat Steam room, the Steam chat room. But if they built in some sort of messaging with the client, that might be nice. Then you also have friends, help, and settings, which are not new but traditional. Now we're going to keep playing the video and take a look at the next screen, which